Guys, we must stop treating the core, abdominal, six-pack, whatever you want to call it, different from all the other muscles in the body. And what do I mean by that? A lot of us are still treating our core or our abdominal work like we are a beginner. We're still doing high reps, high sets, which is great, no problem with that. However, like all the other muscles that in your body, we need to progress it. So we need to do movements that now introduce weight, that now introduce load, more mechanical tension, that allows us to progressively overload them a bit more strategically. So for example, when we first get into exercise and we're doing core movements, you might do things like sit-ups and, you know, leg raises, all the other stuff for like 10 reps, gradually you get 20, 30, whatever. Fantastic, amazing. However, we want to progress it like we would with our bench press, like we would with our bicep curls. We gradually add more load over time. So we need to do movements that are going to allow us to do that. So I'm going to run you through some movements today that require some equipment, some very little, but you'll still be able to perform them with different variations. So let's go, let's do this core work. So for a lot of us, when we think of working our abdominals, but I'll just say core for the video. When we think of working our core, we usually think of a plane where we're just in this movement here. So everything is in a forward motion. I forget the name of the plane, but you understand what I mean. But we must understand as well that the main feature, one of the main features of the core is to also rotate. And that's very important for athletes, especially, or anyone who's in any sort of sport. The rotation of the core is very important. So this is why we're going to do some trunk twists, trunk rotations, whatever you want to call them. This is my setup. I like to do mine with a barbell. I've got a landmine on the end. If you don't have a landmine, you can always use a towel. Make sure you can find a corner. I just set up these bricks because, you know, just for the purpose of the video, so you can see a bit more clearly. And what we're going to do is we're going to start with a barbell above us like this. And we're going to make sure that we're using our core to twist the weight, to control the weight, just like that. Now, what's great about this movement, let me just take this weight off, or this is going to roll away. What's great about this movement is that, as I said in the beginning, it can be progressively overloaded and does involve a lot of the core stabilizing muscles. So we're using our obliques, we're using the main part of our core as well. It's getting that nice trunk rotation. So imagine, you know, you have to twist with power, with, you know, purpose in whatever sport you do, especially if you're doing combat sports. This is a very important exercise, the landmine trunk rotation. Now, some of you, if you're just starting off, the barbell is going to be enough, or a good starting point for you to really get the movement down. We're not using our whole body to jerk and swing. No, our arms are fixed, our core is taking on the load, and it's literally the core doing all the work. Now, if you've never done this before, you're going to feel a different type of burn in your core the next day or during. Now, same with the other muscle groups. You want to focus on keeping the reps clean, but we also don't want to make it cardio. So anything up to 10 reps is going to be solid for this movement. You don't have to do crazy amount of sets. You can do up to 3 sets. However, we're still working on progressively overloading this movement. So once you reach 10 reps, smooth for 2 or 3 sets, you can start to add some more weight. However, we don't want to sacrifice the form. So we'll just go through the form one more time with the weight. This slightly moved over. So we're here. Now, you don't have to stop at the top like I do. You can literally just go from side to side. However, if you're just starting to exercise, you're probably going to need a little break to kind of, you know, readjust your body and really focus on the core movement. Now, if you don't have a barbell in this setup, I'm going to show you a variation that you can do that is still going to mimic the trunk rotation. So for those of you who may be working out at home, you have limited equipment, or your gym just doesn't have this setup, what we're going to do is some Russian twist. Why they're called Russian twist, I don't know, but still, it's just a trunk rotational twist that we're looking for. So you can do this on the floor or on the bench, up to you, whatever is more comfortable. Knees up, and we're just going to twist, guys. We're working on controlling the core. Obviously, this is going to take a little bit more stabilization, a little more coordination, because we're removing the element of stability. We're not using our legs. However, we're still just working on keeping that core tight. You may rest your feet on the edge of the bench to really get the movement pattern down first if you're a beginner. But as we progress, you can even straighten out your legs. And that's going to work on the rotational twist, guys, of the core. Now, a lot of us would have probably done this movement, you know, those core circuits they have where you just do it free weight, and that's great. However, once we add the weight plate and we add in that more mechanical tension, we focus a bit more on the stability and controlling the movement, it's going to take your core to the next level. You're going to feel the strength, you're going to feel the improvement over time, and you're going to be looking good at the beach. Next exercise is going to be a cable crunch. Now, a lot of us, we've done a crunch before. Now, the cable crunch is, again, going to allow us to add weight so that our abs can develop that much more. Now, if you don't have, you know, access to a gym, you can purchase a cable system online, guys. They're like £20, maybe $25, something like that. If you're really serious about fitness, invest in yourself. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring the cables to our temple like so. We're going to keep our hips in a fixed position, and we're just going to crunch down, guys. Come back up, crunch, back up, crunch, back up, back up. It's all about making the abdominals work. We're not trying to work our hip flexors, oh sorry, our hips in general, just the core. We're going to feel that crunch as we come down, and again, we can progressively overload this movement. Again, we're not sacrificing form for more weight. We want to make sure that we do this in a controlled manner. We're feeling it in our core, and then we see the results come after that. Just to show you from a different angle, bringing the rope to our temple, fixed position. Now you can come a little bit higher if you want, but I prefer to rest back on my legs so that my core and everything is locked in. And that's another way, guys, can get those core gains, man, nice and strong. And again, we focus on two different patterns or planes for the core. We've done the rotational pattern, and now we're just working on the up and down movement. That suggests that you don't have a cable system, or you can't afford one right now. No issue, no problem, no drama. What we're gonna do is just gonna do crunches, but we're gonna do them weighted. So you can either hold the weight up here and crunch up, back here, and crunch up. The choice is yours, but there's many ways to get it done. Ideally, I think most people, you're gonna find it easier to do it here, and really work those abs. As I said, it's all about adding more load to the movement, which is going to intensify the movement, and we can progressively overload over time. Now, another rotational movement that we can focus on is going to be wood choppers. Now, some of you may have seen this, some of you may have not. Literally, all we're going to do, you can use the rope again for this one. Get a nice firm stance here, and we're just going to rotate. Come back to the starting position. Rotate. back to the starting position, guys. Now, essentially, you can play with the height of the cable. Obviously, mine is in a fixed position because this is a home pulley system, but if you were in the gym, you can play with the height, and you can put it either hip height or just above your waist, so you have more of a natural movement, rotation. However, we ain't got that. So now if the rope isn't quite comfortable, what you can do is you can use a handle instead. So we're just going to place the handle on here, and it's going to be the same thing. Just a nice big rotation. Now the goal here isn't to use your legs or anything else, or your, your upper body to really swing the weight. So we're not looking for that sort of motion. No, we want our core fixed, our legs fixed, and literally all we're going to do is just twist at the hips. Start again. Twist. Start again. Another fantastic movement that you can do. Really going to feel that in the core, but it really is going to help, especially athletes again who may need these for different whatever sporting activity you do. Try it out and see. So commonly, most of us make the mistake that when we're training our core, we only focus on the front side of the core. So we think, my abs look good, my core, that means my core is strong. However, guys, you have to train the back side of the core as well. And what is that? The lower back. And why? Because if you have a strong front and a weak back, it's going to lead to muscular imbalances and injuries. Trust me, I know, I've been through it. So whatever you do on the front, you must do on the back. It would be like wanting bigger arms. You just train biceps, you never train triceps. Guess what? It's not going to happen, and something is going to lead to injury at the end of the day. So what we're going to do is back extensions. If you're a follower of this channel, you know that most of the time back extensions are part of my routine, and I did a whole video on them. So what we're going to do again is focus on strengthening the lower back, the entire posterior chain, just like that, guys. So once you can do this movement for a high number of reps, guess what's coming next? We're going to add weight. Now, like majority of exercises, be very careful when adding weight, especially if lower back work hasn't been a part of your routine. Pick a weight that you feel like, okay, you know what, this is pretty light, pretty reasonable, see how it goes, and then go up from there. So all we're going to do is grab a weight plate now, hold it to our chest, and perform the exact same movement, focusing on strengthening the lower back. A strong lower back is going to make all your other lifts stronger. It's going to make you a better athlete, and it's going to help you to basically become a beast at the end of the day. Now, with doing back extensions, there's two ways. So that's the first way, but we also want to make sure that we're strengthening our obliques and our QL muscles as well. So the other way that we can do this is we can attack each side separately. So we bring ourselves onto the bench like that, and we're just working there, guys. And why we want to do that is because we want to make sure that both the obliques are getting worked, obviously, but we're curing any sort of muscular imbalances that may be ignored through the normal back extensions. So when we target one side, we are ensuring that nothing is being missed and everything is being addressed. So we want to get a nice deep stretch. Power up, guys. Power up. Now, if you can't do the full motion, what you can do is you can just hold the ISO, which is still going to target the obliques, still going to work the lower back as well, but you're still going to get a very good contraction. Hold that for a few seconds, and then you try to increase the time period gradually. Now the rain has come, guys, which means it's probably a good time for me to end the video. Those are the core exercises that you can do. This is not all your, everyday average core exercises. It does involve some equipment, but literally you can make it happen if you want to. You can do them at the gym, anywhere that you'd like. But appreciate you watching. Make sure you like, you comment, you subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one. I'm out. Peace.